Yacht racing. Yacht racing is a sailing sport involving sailing yachts and larger sailboats as distinguished from dinghy racing, which involves open boats. It is composed of multiple yachts, in direct competition, racing around a course marked by buoys or other fixed navigational devices, or racing longer distances across open water from point to point. It can involve a series of races when buoy racing, or multiple legs when point-to-point racing. History. Yachting, that is, recreational boating, is very old, as exemplified in the ancient poem Catullus 4, trans. James Michie. Yacht is referred to as deriving from either Norwegian jacht, Middle Low German Jat, or from the Dutch word jacht, which means a swift light vessel of war, commerce, or pleasure. The sporting element in the word lies in the derivation of jat from the root jagen, which means to hunt, chase, or pursue. The formal racing of boats is believed to have started with sailboats. Soon in England, custom-built racing yachts began to emerge, and the Royal Yacht Squadron was established in 1815. In 1661, John Evelyn recorded a competition between Catherine and Anne, two large royal sailing vessels, both of English design. The wager 100-1, the race from Greenwich to Gravesend and back. One of the vessels was owned, and sometimes steered, by Charles Roman II, the King of England. The king lost. In 1782, the Cumberland fleet, a class of sailing vessel known for its ability to sail close to the wind, were painted racing up the Thames River with spectators viewing from a bridge. Much like today, this obsession with sailing close to the wind with speed and efficiency fueled the racing community. In the 19th century, most yacht races were started by allotting starting positions to the competitors. Buoys were laid in a straight line, to which the competitors attached their yachts by means of spring ropes. The yachts were required to keep all the sails forward of the mainmast on deck until the starting signal was given. The Yacht Racing Association was founded in 1875 by Prince Bathiany Stratman, Captain J. W. Hughes, and Mr. Dixon Kemp. The YRA wrote standardized yacht racing rules, which included the flying start used today. Bringing yacht racing to the forefront of public life, the America's Cup was first raced in 1851 between the New York Yacht Club and the Royal Yacht Squadron. Not ruled or regulated by measurement criteria as today, it is the second-place finisher was Aurora, and but for the fact that time allowance had been waived for the race, she would have been the winner by a handsome margin. As of 2017, the Lasiote-based yacht Partridge 1885 is documented as being the world's oldest, still fully operational classic racing yacht. Rules and ratings. As yacht racing became more prevalent and yacht design more diverse, it was necessary to establish systems of measurements and time allowances due to the differences in boat design. Longer yachts are inherently faster than shorter ones, therefore, in the interests of fairness, in the 1820s a primitive system of time allowance was introduced on the Solent. Larger yachts were handicapped, but owners with the biggest vessels had a problem with the allowance system, for they preferred that crossing the finish line first, much as in foot and horse races, should suffice to win the contest. As a result, both ratings and one design competition were developed. Ratings systems rely upon some formulaic analysis of usually very specific yacht design parameters such as length, sail area displacement, and hull shape. During the 1920s and through the 1970s, the Cruising Club of America established a formula. After its descendant, the mathematically complex International Offshore Rule IOR of the 1970s, contributed to much decreased seaworthiness and even speed. The simpler performance handicap racing fleet PHRF system was adopted. The PHRF uses only proven performance characteristics, especially theoretical sailing speed, as a means to allow dissimilar yachts typically crewed by friends and families at clubs rather than by professional crews to race together. Most popular family-oriented cruising sailboats will have a rating filed with a local chapter of the PHRF. The most prevalent handicap rating systems today are the Offshore Racing Congress (ORC) Offshore Racing Rule or International Rating Certificate IRC, and the Performance Handicap Racing Fleet PHRF. Many countries organize their own handicap systems which do not take into account the size, weight, or sail area of the yacht, but performance is measured on the basis of previous race results. The Irish ECHO system is such a handicap system. One design racing was invented by Thomas Ben Middleton in 1886 in Killiney Bay close to Dublin City, Republic of Ireland. Middleton was concerned that winning a yacht race was more reliant on having an expensive new yacht than it was on the skill of the yachtsman. One design yacht racing is conducted with classes of similar boats, all built often via mass production to the same design, with the same sail area and rig, and the same number of crew, so that crew ability and tactical expertise are more likely. Popular racing boats such as the Water Wag, Laser, the J/22 and J/24, the Itchels, and the Star and New York 30 of Nathaniel Harrishoff are examples of one design boats. In general, modern yacht racing contests are conducted according to the racing rules of sailing, first established in 1928. Though complex, the RRS are intended primarily simply ensure fairness and safety. The rules are revised and updated every 4 years by the body now known as World Sailing. Notable races. The major races of today can be classified as offshore, ocean, around the world, and inshore racing, all adhering to one set of rule, but diverse handicapping standards. Offshore races. Vicmoy Yacht Race. Vicmoy is an offshore yacht race starting at Victoria in Canada and ending at Lahaina in Hawaii, a distance of 2308 nautical miles 4,274 km. The Vicmoy race was started in 1965, is held every other year, and is the longest of the Pacific-Hawaii races. Trans-Pacific Yacht Race Transpac is an offshore yacht race starting off Point Fermin, San Pedro, near Los Angeles, and ending off Diamond Head Lighthouse in Honolulu, a distance of around 2225 nautical miles 2560 mi, 4,121 km. Started in 1906, it is one of yachting's premier offshore races and attracts entrants from all over the world. The race is organized by the Trans-Pacific Yacht Club. Fastnet established in 1924 with 7 boats. The race covers approximately 600 miles starting at Cowes on the Isle of Wight, rounding Fastnet Rock on the southern coast of Ireland, and finishing at Plymouth. Tour de France à la Voile established in 1978. With 20 boats, the race parallels the cycling event and takes place along France's 3 coasts, English Channel, Atlantic Ocean, and the Mediterranean. It covers over 1,000 miles. Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race established in 1945. This Australian race runs from Sydney, New South Wales to Hobart, Tasmania, covering over 682 nautical miles 1263 km, 785 mi. Melbourne to Hobart West Coaster. The 440 nm course crosses Bass Strait, down the rugged west coast of Tasmania and rounds the southernmost tip of Australia before heading up the Derwent River to the finish in Hobart. Newport to Bermuda started in 1906. The race runs from Newport, Rhode Island to Bermuda, a small archipelago approximately 640 miles off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Chicago Yacht Club Race to Mackinac, founded in 1898 with 5 boats. The race runs from Chicago Isle to Mackinac Island on the northern tip of the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, covering over 300 miles of freshwater racing. Marblehead to Halifax Race, founded in 1905. The race runs from Marblehead, Massachusetts to Halifax, Nova Scotia, covering over 360 miles of racing. Coastal Classic starting in 1982. This race is New Zealand's premier fleet race. Covering about 125 miles, it is shorter than most offshore races and runs north from Auckland to Russell, which is at the northern tip of New Zealand's North Island. San Fernando. This race, started in 1975 with 6 yachts, runs a distance of 500 miles between Hong Kong. The Governor's Cup. This race, started in 1996 with 15 yachts, runs a distance of 1,700 miles between Simonstown in South Africa and St. Helena Island in the South Atlantic. Regatta del Sol al Sol established in 1968. This race runs from the St. Petersburg Yacht Club in St. Petersburg, Florida, to Isla Mujeres, Mexico, a small island 8 miles northeast of Cancun in the Caribbean Sea. This race runs a distance of 500 nautical miles. Typically, 24 or more boats from all over the Gulf of Mexico compete in this regatta, with LOA ranging from 35 to 80 feet. Ocean Classics. Astar first held in 1960, organized by the Royal Western Yacht Club. The Astar runs from Plymouth to Newport in 1960. The finish line was in New York. It is a single-handed race against the prevailing wind and current in the North Atlantic. The race is held every 4 years, but has become an amateur race in the early 21st century. Originally, the Astar was the main race for offshore sailors, but has meanwhile lost its status to the Route du Rhum. The race covers about 3,000 miles. Route du Rhum established in 1978, and starting in November, this race happens every 4 years. It is primarily a single-handed race, but crude boats do compete. It starts in France's north coast running to Guadeloupe, a French island in the Caribbean. The race covers about 3,700 miles. Mini Transit started in 1977. This is a single-handed race held every 2 years that crosses the Atlantic on a similar route as the Route du Rhum. This race is broken up into 2 legs, the first going from France to the Canary Islands and the second to Guadeloupe Island in the Caribbean. Asaka Cup first held in 1987. The race runs from Melbourne to Osaka and is slated as a double-hander, only 2 crew. Many different types of boats race this, including tall ships. South Atlantic, originally the Cape to Rio. It was established in 1971 with over 50 original entries. The race runs from Cape Town, South Africa to Rio de Janeiro, covering 3,600 miles. Round Ireland Yacht Race, approximately 704 miles, which includes all the offshore islands except Rockall, is held biannually and starts and finishes in Wicklow. Around the World Races. The ocean race, formerly known as the Volvo Ocean Race, as well as the Whitbread Round the World Race, it started in 1973/74. This race is one of the pinnacles of yacht racing, mostly professionally crewed. Originally a 4-leg race constituting 27,930 miles, it is now a 9-leg race. Velux 5 Oceans Race, formerly known as the BOC Challenge, and later the Around Alone. This race started in 1982 with 17 entries. It is a single-handed race around the world, originally with 4 legs but now with 3. Global Challenge. This race was established in 1992/93 by Scottish sailing icon Sir J. Blythe, the first person to sail around the world alone against the prevailing winds and currents. This is what makes this race unique. Participants beat their way against the sea, which makes for very uncomfortable, but safer, sailing conditions than sailing downwind. The race is sailed in one-design boats that are designed and built specifically for the race. The crews cannot be professional and are made up of novice sailors who pay for a berth. Vendée Globe. This race, known as the Everest of the seas for its difficulty, started November 26, 1989 with 13 entries. It is a single-handed, non-stop, without assistance race. The first race took 120 days and only 7 finished. Jules Verne Trophy established in 1993. The race was designed to be a race against the clock, not other boats. Participants can start any time, have any design, any number of crew, and the only 2 rules are 1 start and finish at the Isle d'Ouessant, and 2 complete the journey under 80 days. Clipper Round the World Yacht Race, established by Sir Robin Knox Johnston, the first man to perform a single-handed non-stop circumnavigation of the globe. The first Clipper race took place in 1996. The race is sailed in a fleet of 12 one-design boats that are designed and built specifically for the race. Each yacht is crewed by a professional skipper and paying novice sailors. It is the longest yacht race, with multiple stopovers and taking 11 months to complete the circumnavigation. Barcelona World Race double-handed two-crew non-stop sailing around the world on a Mocha Open 60 yachts and organized by Fundació Navigació Asaka Barcelona. Inshore races. The Admiral's Cup, created in 1957 by the Admiral of the Royal Ocean Racing Club, it is raced every 2 years. This is a competition between countries who are allowed to send one team and 3 boats of a chosen one design class. It appears that due to international disagreements that this event no longer takes place. The America's Cup, established in 1851. This is the oldest and arguably the most prestigious exclusive event in yacht racing. Participants are restricted to a measurement formula for the boats, and the rules concerning the same have been controversial since the very beginning. The English, who were the challengers for the first 132 years of the race, commented, "England rules the waves, but America waves the rules." This race was not traditionally an inshore race due to the requirement that the British boat would sail to the racing area, which involved sailing transatlantically. The Heather Cup, contested annually as part of the Auckland Anniversary Regatta, itself founded in 1840, and contested on over 170 yearly occasions since establishment halted briefly during the Boer/South African War.